Yo, monkeys, it's me, DDP Diamond Dallas Page. And you, monkey, you're listening to the Potsy. And that's not a bad thing, monkey. It's a good thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network proudly brings to you its tag team champions of the world, the Potsy and Tino Show. Tino Gray, Rob Potsy, Podcheck. Our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cat. It's called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. We're part of the Pots and Pans Network. And Tino, you just heard DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, giving us a shout-out and an intro to our show. What do you think of that?
That was awesome. And I also want to know, you're going to tell me the story about how all that came to be. How in the world did you get Diamond Dallas Page to do a podcast spot for us?
All right, I might use some adult language as I explain this because I don't know how the hell it happened, okay? I flew into Indianapolis, and apparently there was a horror convention going on at the same time as my job convention was getting ready to start. So I fly into Indianapolis. I go out to dinner with a friend of mine who is hanging out with someone from Activision Blizzard, so the people that make World of Warcraft, Diablo, all those games. Super cool dude named Dave. He may end up listening to the show. I don't know, but super cool dude. You know, we shot the shit about all different types of stuff, including this right here. Junior High Horrors, first issue, coming out September 19th from Keenspot. Check your local comic book stores, folks. But yeah, so I was having dinner with them. Really wanted the pot roast at the place we went to. Apparently the pot roast was sold out because everybody else wanted the pot roast. So I got the chicken, and the chicken was delicious. And then on the way back to my hotel, out of nowhere, literally, I walk into, and I almost bump into Diamond Dallas Page, like almost literally bump. I would say bump shoulders, but Diamond Dallas Page is 6'5", and I'm like 5'8" maybe. So I was gonna bump into like his rib cage.
Damn, is he that tall?
Yeah, dude, he's tall and skinny. So anyway, I bump into him, and I turn and I look and I go, "Oh my God, it's DDP!" And he turns around and he's like, "Yeah, bro." And I'm like, "Dude, I just started doing your yoga." And he goes, "Really, bro? Do you have the app, bro?" And I'm like, first of all, I didn't realize that the language used in the industry is to say "bro" after every sentence.
Well, he must be. He did work with Russo.
He did work with Vince Russo, so you're absolutely right. But so he's like, "Do you have the app, bro?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Really? Like, how do you start doing DDP yoga without the app?" And I'm like, "Well, I got the DVDs from a friend, and I decided I'm going to try it all out and make sure I want to do it before I decide I'm going to start paying $8 a month for the app or whatever." And he goes, This meeting is not coincidental." And I'm like, "What's he talking about?" Right? And he goes, "So I want you to do this for me." And he gives me a name and an email address, and he tells me to email this guy, and he will set me up with the app. So now that I'm back and I actually don't have any time for anything, I'm gonna email this guy and actually get myself hooked up with a month or a couple months free of the DDP yoga app, so I can really get myself going on it, because it seems to be working real well for Ward.
Ward's on it?
Yeah, I was gonna say you, Tino, but
yeah. I hadn't done it in a while. I need to get back on it. I got hurt.
I know. But then I was like, "But hey, can I ask a favor?" And one of the people that was with him, he was with like 3 handlers, 2 dudes that are like twice the size of him, and then this probably his manager slash girlfriend slash wife slash I don't know. She goes, "You want a picture?" And I was like, "Actually, I want a podcast spot." And he's like, "What do you mean a podcast spot, bro?" And I'm like, where you actually sit there and you say you're listening to the podcast. And he goes, "Yeah, absolutely, bro. We got this." And of course, it was too dark to actually take the picture. So I got the podcast spot, but did not get a picture with DDP, as you heard. So folks, once again, Potsy has taken care of the show. Tino just sits there and like reaps the benefits of the Potsy and Tino show.
I don't get to go all these fancy conventions where you meet these people.
Hey, you could totally wait backstage and try to get some of them wrestlers to give you their podcast spot, but you don't.
You don't wait backstage either, you punk.
You forced me to do it.
Whatever. Yeah, twist your arm.
So Tino, I got some funny stories about when I went to Indianapolis. Obviously, we just told the one about the Potsy and Tino spot that I got from Diamond Dallas Page. I did not get to meet either of the wrestlers that were there. They had the Big Show and Rey Mysterio, so they had the biggest athlete and the smallest athlete in WWE at our show this year, and I was not able to meet either of them because the lines were too long. But
Hornswoggle would be the smallest.
I'm talking about pro wrestlers. I'm not talking about Vince McMahon's offspring. So anyway, let me just tell you, my luggage got lost on the way home.
What is wrong? What is up with you and airports and luggage?
Well, this time it was actually my luggage got lost. Like I had no say in my luggage getting lost. But anyways, one of the my luggage got lost. They ended up bringing it to the house the next day. Not a big deal. But here's a funny story. So we have a store manager for us. I work retail. I'm not going to say the company that I work for on the podcast right now, but I heard this story because I got into Indianapolis, and as I got in there, like 3 other managers were waiting, and they were like, "Eric's, waiting for his stuff. We don't know what's going on with it. We think they lost his luggage." And we're all sitting there like, seriously, like is he wearing shorts? Because our event, you're not allowed to wear shorts for any of the days or anything. So you're allowed to wear them on the plane, but you're not allowed to wear them for anything else. So of course, I was tasked with videotaping all this cool stuff for the event. So the first thing I did was taped when I was packing and totally left the message on there that said, "Whatever you do, folks, your carry-on bag, make sure you bring an extra set of clothes in case they lose your luggage."
Oh no.
So Eric is sitting there getting angry and screaming and yelling, saying I had a black bag and for some reason nobody's got my black bag. Where is my luggage? Da 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 da. And he goes into the lost luggage room, and they're looking up his package and everything, and they're doing all this craziness, and like the way it was described to me was he's sitting there saying he has a black bag with his luggage in it, and this 900-pound elephant of a person comes storming out with a black bag, or I'm sorry, a green bag, and puts it in his face, rips the tag off, and goes, the bag's not black. We'll be waiting for that lawsuit," and turns around and storms away.
Oh my God.
So dude completely packed the wrong color bag and forgot what kind of bag he had.
And was raising hell.
Yeah. So that was pretty. Yeah, he was raising hell, everything else, and all that happened.
But he felt stupid.
And of course, as he saw his bag being delivered, he's sitting there backpedaling and like trying to say, "Oh, I also own a black bag." And the person who delivered the bag looks at him and goes, "Did you pack your own luggage?"
Nice.
So of course he had no way of saying anything to dispute it at that point. His luggage was obviously not green. So
Wow. He
yeah,
felt like a jackass.
exactly. So that was one of the stories. Then, okay, to me that's not even the best one. The best one is we had another set of people who were sitting there at their gate, Tino. Listeners, sitting at the gate, okay? Sitting at the gate, waiting to get on their plane. And they turn and they look out the window and they see a plane driving off.
No.
They don't think to ask anything at this point. But then they, 5 minutes later, hey, when's our plane supposed to take off? And the guy at the desk goes, I've been calling you two for 20 minutes.
No. Oh my God.
They missed their flight. They literally missed their flight sitting waiting for their flight.
Yeah, okay, they fell down too. What is it with you and your dude? That's two dumbass
Situations?
Yes.
So I'm going to tell you right now, that wouldn't have been me. If I'm going to miss a flight, it's because I'm not there on time because I overslept. Okay. Also, this one's not for the faint of heart, but as I went through and got to the security line, I noticed that they were changing the stanchions. So I look and I'm wondering why they're changing the stanchions. And literally it's because some woman has just vomited an entire lake in front of the stanchion area.
Ew.
So they have to move the entire stanchions. And here's the crazy thing. No one's trying to clean it up. Now, I'm going to tell you, Tino, I've seen the movie Outbreak. I know how the deadly Motaba virus starts. Someone tries to get on a plane and everybody is sick for some reason. I've seen Planet of the Apes. I know how this happens. And literally, like there was two other people that I knew because I got through checking my bag in, went up through security, and then I get a text message that says, "Did you see all the vomit on the floor?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did. It's pretty disgusting." And they're like, "Yeah, they're just now cleaning it up." And I was like,
how
yeah.
long ago was it?
What's that?
How much time had passed?
At least 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, at least 30 minutes. And the deadly Motaba virus was definitely there to kill people. So yeah. So if we hear anything about something that started at RD, we now know what it is. Other than that, the trip went great. Lost my voice after like the second day because I don't know what it is. Every time I travel, I seem to lose my voice. And didn't get to watch any of the wrestling while I was gone. Kind of had to keep up with it through Bleacher Report and everything else. And it kind of brings up what I kind of want to talk about. But before I do that, Tino, I want to find out how you are because literally, besides 2 text messages, I haven't talked to you since I went on this trip.
I know, man. It's weird. I got thinking today with Nicole and I and family were sitting at lunch after church. I'm like, we didn't record a show this week. I'm like, what? I hadn't talked to Rob this week. It's just weird. It's weird. Going pretty good, just working and trying to relax and rest. And I was off. I had a 3-day weekend. I was off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I was pretty much chilling home. Was going to try to cut the grass, but every time I went out there to cut the grass every day, I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut the grass today. It rained. So I'm like, yeah. So I had a jungle to deal with. But other than that, I can't complain.
So did you have any good shows or anything while I was gone?
No, not while you were gone. I didn't have any shows. I had a show this past Friday night, which would have been what, the 7th? No, last night I played. So that would have been what, the 8th? Saturday the 8th, as we're recording now.
Yeah, well, we're live on.
We're live, yeah. So, like I said, nothing exciting.
So, something exciting did happen to you. You started playing Spider-Man on the PS4.
Oh yeah, that's why. I picked it up when it came out on Friday. I picked it up on Friday, and I've been playing it. Dude, it is awesome. The controls awesome. The missions are awesome. This whole game is just like, it's one of those games you don't put down. Like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and I'm only gonna play 30 minutes, and I look up and it's like 2 hours later, and I'm still playing this game. This game is awesome. You need to go ahead and get you one so you can play too.
Yeah, well, one of these episodes is actually going to be sponsored by Sony because they're supposed to be actually getting my hands on a PlayStation 4 Pro Spider-Man system here shortly. So you know, we'll make sure we dedicate an entire episode to our friends at Sony when that happens.
Cool.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm sitting here like having this conversation live on YouTube with you, and like a bad episode of the Steve Austin show, I'm getting all these text messages about the bad weather coming, and it's literally, hey, you're gonna have to move all the patio furniture up into either the garage, which has no room, by the way, or you know, up on the lawn. And I'm sitting here trying, like I've even said, I'm doing a podcast. Can you send me this later? And I've gotten five text messages since I started talking to you.
Because Shorty don't care.
Well, that's just it. You know, so go ahead and explain to everybody the first mission of Spider-Man while I go ahead and I try to get off the phone.
The first mission of Spider-Man. Which one?
I don't know which one it is. I haven't played it yet. You gotta talk about it.
Dude, that was Friday. I don't even remember that. I'm not in the third mission. I think the first mission was you got me there. I don't remember the first
exciting,
mission.
Man. Talk about what you like about it.
Oh, I like that the controls are better. Like the controls on the old Spider-Man's that was on the PS3, they aren't as easy to maneuver as these are. The graphics on this one is so much better. The city looks awesome. The characters, they even got it down to where if it's raining in the scene, you can actually see the water beating up and running off the characters' faces and off the Spider-Man's mask. It's just awesome, dude. The graphics, everything about this video game, I'm in love with. And like I said, if it hadn't have been for doing this podcast, like when I messaged you earlier and you weren't ready, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play Spider-Man until he's ready. And then you called me and I'm still playing it. You're like, put it down. I'm like, I'm trying. I had to get to a stopping point. And so, but when is this storm? So I was oblivious. I heard about this
Florence.
Hurricane
Florence, man.
I thought it was going to hit the East Coast. I didn't know it was going to come.
No. It is right now based on all. You know how normally like they've got like 19 different trajectories that these things can go.
Yeah.
Right now, like all 19 have it hitting. It literally looks like a giant eggplant. So it looks like a big sex emoji right now.
Oh my God! And it's going to hit Raleigh.
Yeah, it is headed right towards Raleigh with a giant sex emoji.
And it's supposed to hit. You said 2 days.
What's weird is I looked at the weather report and it says Monday and Tuesday it's supposed to rain all day. Wednesday it's supposed to be clear, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday it's supposed to be rain. So it's probably going to be Thursday, Friday, or Saturday that it's actually supposed to hit. Like Shane and Michelle down in South Carolina, my sister and brother-in-law, are talking about how they're going to determine Tuesday whether or not they're going to evacuate Myrtle Beach. So I don't know. But it's just really weird because, like I said, it's just a giant sex emoji coming right at Raleigh.
I'm supposed to be going. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I have shows.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Like places like bars and restaurants, if they can open, they're going to open. You know, like I know when I worked at North Hills, the Fox and Hound was open no matter what. So if they could get open, you know, they can fire up the grills and they can make burgers, you know, and that's.
No, but Friday I'm supposed to be in Hickory, so I'm leaving and driving to Hickory, so I'll be getting away from Raleigh.
Well, lucky you.
But you know, I got to drive back Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got corporate visitors and everything this week at my store, so it's going to be even better.
Yeah. You.
Yeah. So all right. So while while I was gone and everything, you know, we were finalizing everything for the comic book release, and you know, I've already showed it once, but Junior High Horrors #1 will be in stores September 19th. You know, that is 2 Wednesdays from now. So hopefully the hurricane's gone and done with by then. Yeah, so we'll be myself and at least right now it's scheduled to be myself and the 3 artists that have worked on it. So Billy Parker, Rob Rediano, and Sean Beck, the cover artist, are all supposed to be there with me in Rocky Mount doing a signing at Arkham Comics on the 19th.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's gonna be awesome, dude.
Yeah, the 22nd we're supposed to do a signing at Fight or Flight Comics in Raleigh, and that's going to be myself and Billy Parker, and then myself and Billy Parker are also going to do Ultimate Comics in Raleigh at least, and possibly Cary as well on the 26th. So we're doing at least 1 store, if not 2 stores, on the 26th.
Where is Fight or Flight? I haven't heard of that one.
That one's okay, so for people who like landmarks, on Falls of Noose Road, if you know where the Chick-fil-A is on Falls of Noose,
yeah,
it's in that same shopping center.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, so right around where like Raleighwood and all that stuff is.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So right now the Arkham one is like all day. Then after that we're doing the other 2. Saturday, the 22nd, we're at Fight or Flight. I think that's going to be like 11 to 4. I don't know. We haven't really worked out the times and date. You know, besides the date, we haven't worked out the times yet. And then Ultimate will be there at least 10 to 4 is what I'm planning. But if we're doing 2 stores, it'll probably be like 10 to 3, and then 4 to whatever time they close.
Got it.
So, and then after that, I've also got 2 other events scheduled right now. The Halloween party at Arkham Comics in Wilson on the 13th of October. I'll be signing comics, and you know, like they'll have a bunch of different horror stuff going on. And then of course October 6th, the craziest event ever that I've ever been a part of. I will be attempting, Tino, the impossible.
Was this the one? Oh yeah, you're gonna need a lot of coffee.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee, so it's going to be really weird.
A lot of Coke or something. You need some caffeine, something.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if anybody I know knows like a Red Bull guy, because Red Bull's normally like really cool about just coming out and dropping off a case of Red Bull, you know? But I haven't met anybody that seems to know anybody in Red Bull. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to get myself prepped as well as I can. But yeah, so anybody who doesn't know, folks, and God, we're already at the 23-minute mark here. The 6th of October, starting at midnight, I will be at Arkham Comics in Wilson, and I will be writing, drawing, and lettering an entire comic book in 24 hours.
God bless you.
Yeah. Now, the really cool thing about that is that it is all set up to help out the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
That's awesome. That's cool too.
Yeah. So
from scratch, you're gonna make a comic from scratch. Do you have any idea what you're gonna do?
I do. I'm not gonna give it out here. Let's just say I'm gonna stick with like an animated style, so that way I know I can at least get most of the way done. But it's totally gonna be something that can't be printed. So there literally will be 1 copy of this book, and let's just say it's got an iconic character from one of the major comic book companies in it, and then it also has to do with some other characters that I might know something about.
Cool. All right.
So yeah, literally, I want everybody that I know, if you're on my Facebook page, if you're on this YouTube page, if you're a fan of the Potsy and Tino show, go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Rob Pochak. There is a donation link on there right now. If you cannot make it out to the show, please donate to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. But on top of that, if you can make it out to the show, there will be auctions. There will be giveaways. There will be the opportunity, if you want to draw your own comic book. And then, of course, one of the really cool things about the folks that actually own this place, Bill and Tiff, they will be doing, Tino, they will be giving a portion of their entire sales for the day directly to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is big, dude. Like I love doing, like, you know, when I do a signing or whatever, I normally give 20% of my print sales to charity and everything. This is the first time that, like, my entire time, my day, everything else is completely allotted to doing something so that it goes directly to charity. Because as far as I know, the book that I am drawing will then be auctioned off. Now, I'm going to say right now, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to make it as good as I can. The story will probably be hilarious, but, you know, I got to think that after 16 or 17 hours, I'm going to be pretty delirious.
God. So you from midnight to what?
Midnight to midnight, my friend.
Oh, it is going to be midnight to midnight. So really 24 hours.
24 hours. And here's the crazy thing. I'm probably working until 6 o'clock on Friday. So I will literally have maybe 2.5 hours that I can sleep before I drive out to Wilson, North Carolina.
Oh my God.
It's going to be awesome. You should come out.
Oh my Lord.
So yeah. So now that we're at almost the 30-minute mark, that's what's going on with me, man. Like, it's pretty exciting. I already told you, actually, I do have something else.
Oh crap.
No, it's good. It's good. No rants, nothing else.
Okay.
I handed out my business cards to all the senior executives and VPs of my company, and my HR rep actually knows somebody at one of the or the magazine that my company actually makes. So you probably know it. Yeah. I'm not gonna say it out loud or anything because I don't want to jinx anything. But they're she's trying to actually talk them into an interview / like what's going on in the company kind of thing.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So if that were to happen, then, you know, I'd be talking about a little thing called Junior High Horrors. But I'd probably also talk about another book called Immortal. And I might even, for the first time ever, actually talk about my new book that I haven't even announced yet. But the whole idea is to see if we can actually get me interviewed, because my company, the magazine that they run, is a top 10 publication in the entire world.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
So like, if there was an article just about me going, hey, did you know that this guy not only works for the company, but he also does this on the side? Like, if that were to happen, man, like, I could only imagine what would actually occur for me. Like it'd be pretty cool. I did, like I said, though, I did give my business card to most of the chief executives and everything else that work for my company. And I got the real response that I was expecting from one of them. You know, everyone else is like, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing what makes you happy, blah, blah, blah. And of course, you know, I'm not going to stop making comics just because, like, you know, I work for a company that doesn't do comics. But then, you know, one of them, the head of merchandising and product lines in the store, actually said to me, so how's it sell? So that, you know, that made me go, well, this deal hadn't been signed yet. But Tino, do you know who these guys are?
Yeah.
So folks, if you're watching on YouTube, Rocket League is advertising in my comic book. So that might say something, you know. It was a last minute deal that seemed to get put together, and yeah. So I have one of the hottest games in the industry advertising in my comic book.
So what do you say to that?
Well, that deal hadn't been struck by the time I, so I didn't get to say that. But I did tell them that it was probably a top 400 book. It was probably on the charts. So hopefully they take a little look at it. I don't know. Anyways, so Tino,
get some bobbleheads made or some poppets.
I you know what? I don't care if I get bobbleheads or pops. I want plushes. You know, I want more of these. You know, more books. You know, coming out. But you know, like everything, like if it takes off, I want to do what Rick and Morty did this week, winning their first Emmy. You know, like that's what I want to do. So we're at the 31-minute mark here, Tino. Want to talk some wrestling?
Let's talk some wrestling.
All right. So what happened?
Wow, you just gonna throw me out there like that?
No, I can tell you right now. I was absolutely shocked and appalled by the fact that they did a Kevin Owens quit angle only to have him show up and beat down Bobby Lashley the following week. I thought it was absolute trash. I thought that it completely demeaned the process and the possibilities that they could have done with Kevin Owens. I posted on the Facebook group that what should have happened is they should have let him show up on All In with Cody Rhodes and them. Just show up in the audience, kind of like what they do with the NXT signings, and just you know, try to make people think that, oh my God, he may have really quit. You know, and even have him show up on screen as Kevin Steen would have been something. But no, instead, he shows up the following week in a complete garbage segment between Jinder Mahal and my man Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, but why? I don't understand what they're pushing for. What's the reason? Now, the only thing that I could possibly put together is that we and I think you put it on the Facebook page, that they're talking about having Paul Heyman have a stable. So do you think it's a something against Bobby Lashley? You know, because
I think it was set up completely wrong, and to make people think that Kevin Owens was gone so that he could jump Bobby Lashley. But the problem is that he jumped Bobby Lashley literally 7 days later, and it was shortly after the other thing we're going to talk about, which is Braun Strowman's heel turn.
I don't understand that either.
Well, neither do I, except for the fact that, and I told you before we went on the air, that I would have a rant ready. So here it is. You ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
So I wish it was about Kevin Owens and Bobby Lashley, but it's not. It's about Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is being turned into a heel, and he's being turned into a heel with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre won the tag team championships from the B team by beating the heck out of a heel team in the back, meaning that they're babyface, right?
Yeah.
So are Dolph and Drew actually heels, or are they baby faces? Because it really looked like if you're going to take out the heels, you're good guys.
Well, and this is the thing. They keep they're trying to blur the line between the heels and faces so much that I think is diluting everything else.
Well, I think what happened was people like Dolph and Drew started getting popular chants. I think they started having people finally sit there and say, these guys are actually pretty damn good, because they are. But then on top of that, they went, you know, Vince obviously had his moment of, I'm not turning Roman. Roman's gonna be the baby. You know, and that's fine. And here's what Bleacher Report said. You look at Roman, you look at Braun, these two guys are over. They're big, they're over. Doesn't matter what kind of reaction they get a reaction, right? Except for the fact that Braun raised the hand of the two heels here.
Yes.
So he didn't just leave the ring and do what Braun normally does. He literally lifted their hands and said, I'm with these guys. Now, granted, I don't necessarily look at that as a heel turn. I look at that as he has unfinished business with Roman, and he's putting himself in a position to win. So I still kind of see it as like a mixed match. I'm not sure whether or not who's the baby, who's the heel, who's the one that's going to take it up the behind. You know, the fact is that what we're really watching here is we're watching Vince McMahon sit there and say, "You guys have wanted me to turn Roman, and you're cheering Braun. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make you cheer Roman, and you're going to boo Braun." And that's just the way it's going to be because I'm Vince McMahon, and you can't tell me that I can't get someone over. Because Seth and Dean are still over.
And it's kind of like rubbing off on Roman. They're not cheering Roman, they're cheering Seth and Dean.
They're cheering the Shield. But I'm going to tell you, when the Shield first showed up and Braun Strowman was like, I'm going to use my Money in the Bank contract, they were the heels. Roman was the babyface there. Or not Roman, but Braun was the babyface there. This was not a situation where Braun was not the babyface. It wasn't until the following week that Vince McMahon was like, we're turning Braun heel. We're going to put him with Drew and Dolph. Nobody likes Dolph. We're going to put him with him. You know, I don't get it. It's stupid. If they were to and the stock price is still $80-something.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're not changing it. They're not taking that away. They're not doing anything different except they're taking the hottest baby face since maybe Steve Austin, and they're saying, you're not baby yet. And it's just not fair to him. But Braun Strowman's so new to the industry. What is he, 3-4 years in now?
Yeah.
That he can't literally walk up to Triple H and say, Hunter, if you don't keep me a babyface, you're going to get these hands. For real.
Even if he was in the business 20 years, you ain't going to talk to the boss like that.
Steve Austin did. Steve Austin took his ball and went home with it.
Steve Austin made the money. Braun hadn't made them that money yet like Steve did.
Oh, Braun is making them that money. Look at it. Look at what they're all making them that money. It's $86 a share, bro. Like, they're all making them that money at this point. Like, Vince McMahon is a trillionaire now. He's not even a billionaire at this point, I bet. Like he is literally running Apple computers. Like, at $86 a share, his stock is almost as good as Yahoo, Google, and all those. I'm kidding, it's not. But it doesn't matter. Like literally, Braun is part of the reason why they're so expensive now. Like, you can't say that he's not. Since he came into the industry, that stock has skyrocketed.
But it ain't all been him.
No, of course not. But you know what? If he were to get injured and all of a sudden be out, watch it. I bet it goes down $4 a share. My point, though, is that this is the whole Hogan syndrome from the 90s where he went to WCW, and if the ratings started going down, he took himself off TV to say it was because of him not being on TV that all of a sudden they weren't making money.
Yeah.
It's totally the same thing. It's just driving me nuts that we're sitting here watching as Vince McMahon basically sits there and says, you wanted me to turn a top guy heel? We're going to turn Braun. We're going to take the one that you absolutely want to cheer, and we're going to turn him heel. And I'll tell you what, I started following Adam Shearer / Braun Strowman on Instagram. I don't want to ever boo that guy.
Really?
He's too awesome. He's too awesome. He's living the life that you and I wish we could. And he's a North Carolina boy, so we wouldn't boo him anyway.
This is true.
You know, like when we went to Raw in Greensboro, we saw, now granted, this was a week and a half before he was supposed to turn heel, but we saw how much of a pop he got. He was the guy that got the biggest pop, besides Dean Ambrose making his comeback after being out for 8 months.
Yeah, and then he got all the welcome home chants.
Exactly. And you saw it. He walked into the crowd. He went over the guardrail, went through the crowd, found his girlfriend and his family, and gave them big hugs, and then finally went up the entrance ramp.
Yeah, I can't boo that dude.
He is doing it the right way. He knows that he's green, but yet he gave the Big Show's best match since like 1997. You know, like, it's crazy. All right. I feel like I'm done ranting on that. You wanted to talk about Becky Lynch.
Well, one more thing I want to talk about. A couple of things that were on Raw
Sure.
that struck me as odd. AOP coming down with Rockstar Spud. What? Why?
So I read about this. Apparently, Vince McMahon said that Paul Ellering was too old to be on TV.
Are you serious?
Now, here's what's interesting about that. Do you know what the age difference between Paul Ellering and Vince McMahon is?
10 years.
Paul Ellering is 7 years younger than Vince McMahon.
Well, Vince McMahon owns the company, so he can go on there and tell him he wants.
Well, apparently Vince doesn't like going on TV anymore because of how old he is. So keep that in mind. But Paul Ellering is 7 years his junior. But Vince McMahon apparently is extremely high on Drake Maverick, a.k.a. Rockstar Spud.
Why?
He's got the skills to talk, man. Like, you know, it's funny. The Facebook group sat there and they were laughing about how Drake Maverick got put with Authors of Pain, and they were like, "This isn't the 80s where you can, you know, have Mr. Fuji as a manager or whatever." And I literally said, "You know what?
Spike Dudley.
It's Spike Dudley."
Yep, I saw that.
But here's the difference: Drake Maverick has better speaking skills than Spike Dudley ever did. So he can sit there and run his mouth, and then Akam and Razor are going to sit there and like get behind him, and some tag teams like the Colognes are going to back off because they're going to realize that even though he's just a mouthpiece, they're not going to be able to do anything to him because one of those two dudes is bigger than both of them. So, I mean, I think it's great. I don't think he should be wearing the same outfits as them. I think he should be doing the turtleneck and the suit coat, kind of like Paul Ellering was doing. But I totally love the idea of Drake Maverick being the bumper in that group.
Okay. And the second thing about the other big thing on Raw that happened was The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels.
Woo! I'm glad you brought this one up. Go ahead, talk about it.
Oh, dude, Shawn Michaels was in the ring and he was like, you know, putting over Triple H, and everybody's saying that Undertaker's going to have Triple H's number, and he's like, I believe in Triple H and he's going to take you. And then the Undertaker's music hit, and the Undertaker pretty much put Shawn Michaels in his place and pretty much pulled his punk card and told him the only reason you will come back is to for one more match, is to fight me, and you're a coward.
Well, there was other stuff said there too. Like specifically, I think that was one of those moments where those guys obviously had 2 to 3 weeks to practice those lines because it was probably scripted word for word. And it was meant to make us think that Shawn Michaels is coming back for at least one more match.
Well, he kept saying how he stayed retired because he respected the Undertaker. He respected the Undertaker, and that's when Undertaker told him, "No, you're scared."
Well, and let's be honest. Like, every wrestler, when they say it's time to hang it up, always think that, you know, when they say that it's time to hang it up, that's when they normally stay retired. Look at Edge. You know, he's been retired the whole time. Steve Austin, he pretty much he went out with that match against The Rock, and then they put on a couple joke matches between him and like Eric Bischoff. But for the most part, like Steve Austin didn't even have his own retirement match. Randy Orton lost Steve Austin's retirement match, right?
Yeah.
So like when you look at it, when those guys go out on their own, they stay out. But when Vince McMahon tells them, like Ric Flair or Mick Foley, this is your retirement match, well, they want to come back. I still got more in the tank. I can still put on a 5-star match.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels put on 2 5-star matches against The Undertaker and said, I'm done. And then we get this moment where, like, every time Shawn comes out, the crowd chants one more match. It's been 8 years since his retirement match.
Yeah.
Like 8 years. And the only thing that's happened is he's gotten a haircut and his eyes have sunk further back into his head.
And then one's a little more crossed than it usually is.
Well, that's because it's like all the way back here. It's like back here now. But I mean, literally, he's kept himself in shape. He probably does DDP yoga because that seems to be taught at the Performance Center now, where Shawn Michaels works. But they did the table for 3 where him, AJ, and Kevin Nash were all sitting there, and Nash looked right at both of them and said, "So when's this going to happen? When's this going to happen?" And he's like, it could have happened last year. Could have happened. It didn't because I got to tell you, the money wasn't good enough. Except now, apparently, the next time they go to Saudi Arabia, Tino, the money is better than WrestleMania.
Why? Well, he's not in a match. He's reffing.
No. So that's Australia.
Wait, what did I miss?
So apparently they're supposed to go back to Saudi Arabia. And that's what they're talking about, one more match for Shawn Michaels. They're talking about putting Shawn Michaels and Triple H together in a tag team match against The Undertaker and someone else. And someone else. But I got to tell you, at this point, if Shawn Michaels wanted to come back and do a retirement tour like Paul McCartney, I'm completely fine with it. Baby, you can drive that car. Because I'm going to tell you, if Shawn Michaels wanted to come back and put another match with John Cena on the table, put a match with AJ Styles on the table, put a match that everybody wants to see, Daniel Bryan versus Shawn Michaels on the table, you give me 12 matches over 12 months and say, this is it. After this, I will not perform again. And dude, I would try to be there for at least one of those matches.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm going to tell you though, that speech, Shawn Michaels almost had me in tears. And the last time that I was almost put to tears was when Shawn Michaels came out to give his farewell speech. Wasn't when Daniel Bryan came out saying that he was retiring. Wasn't when Edge came out and said he was. Actually, maybe it was Edge when he was retiring. But when Shawn Michaels came out and gave his retirement speech, I damn near broke down in tears. And the reason why was because his delivery, his drive, his way of just pouring out his heart. And even this past Monday when he sat there and he said, I didn't stay retired for me. I stayed retired for you. Like when he did that, like I loved how the Undertaker just was like, whatever. But, yeah. But part of it is because of that. Part of it is because the second match with the Undertaker at WrestleMania is so important that is why you stay retired. You know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, someone's going to offer you $5 million to do one more match.
$5 million?
Do you say no?
$5 million? Should I do a match for $5 million?
Hell, you'd do a match for a Happy Meal. Shut up.
Whatever.
So I absolutely I agree with you. Like that segment, I mean, pisses me off it didn't happen 3 weeks before that when we were at Monday Night Raw.
Right.
But,
that would have been awesome.
I mean, like we got Dean Ambrose, that's great, but like Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, and they show up where? Like Detroit?
Whatever. Don't be jealous.
Whatever. Yeah. So all right. So
Becky Lynch.
Go ahead.
What was your rant? You had a rant, didn't you?
No, I went on my rant already.
Oh, okay.
It was about Braun Strowman. It was the fact that like Vince McMahon's taking everything that we wanted them to do with Roman and he's putting it on Braun.
Yeah. So like I said, the big thing with SmackDown was the Becky Lynch thing. I was trying to think of anything else that happened on SmackDown that would be worth mentioning.
I mean,
AJ attacked Samoa Joe again. I mean, that's about the only thing.
Yeah, well, you know, then they've done more with the whole Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy stuff, and you know what's weird is that I haven't seen Shinsuke in a while. Like,
and he's a champ, isn't he?
Yeah, he's U.S. champ, and yet I don't remember seeing him.
I'm gonna tell you one of my favorite parts of the show. I think my favorite part of the show over the past weeks, because it's been building, is R-Truth looking for Carmella.
I'm so glad you brought this up, dude, because I want to tell you something, and a lot of people don't realize this. August 28th was the 10th anniversary of R-Truth as R-Truth in WWE.
Really?
Yes. So I think that they rewarded him with the main event of SmackDown.
Well, he
owned it.
And when he went up to Maurice, was calling her Camilla, and she's like, "I'm Maurice." He said, "You're right." He kept trying to convince her she was Carmella, and then he went to Carmella's, and he's like, "She called you Staten Island trash." Oh, and he made that face.
So my first question here is, did they make Carmella babyface all of a sudden?
I think for that one match she is. I think they're trying to, because the mixed match challenge, there's going to be R-Truth and Carmella as a tag team. So I think they're trying to push her because she's not in the title picture anymore. So
right.
I think they're transitioning her to baby. So if they do transition Charlotte heel, maybe they'll have a different match with Carmella as a baby.
Maybe. You know, it's interesting though, because like, you know, he's coming out and he's doing the same rap as he always has, and I love the message that got, you know, that Corey Graves sat there and he said, he goes, R-Truth's been asking what's up for 20 years and he's still asking the question because no one gives him the answer.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I posted that on the Facebook page and everybody laughed at it. But I mean, it was totally Graves that did that one, you know, like it was just hilarious. But yeah, man, like I was ecstatic to see him not just in a match with The Miz, you know, by the way, his tag team partner when they actually faced John Cena and The Rock at Survivor Series at the 15th anniversary Survivor or 20th anniversary Survivor Series.
Something, yeah.
25th anniversary, I don't remember, but
the Awesome Truth.
Yeah, the Awesome Truth. They, you know, and then all of a sudden, like here, I loved how he sat there and he's like, "Didn't you understand what I'm trying to do for you?" And Carmella's like, "No, what's that?" And he goes, "I just got us into the main event of SmackDown." Like it was, you know what? The sad part is, it was kind of like TNA booking when Jeff Hardy would all of a sudden be drugged up or something, and they'd have to replace him with just a random dude.
Yeah.
You know, but then all of a sudden you're like, but I like this random dude.
Yes.
You know, Petey Williams versus Sting? Okay, I'll watch it. You know what I mean? Like, why not?
R-Truth is awesome.
R-Truth versus The Miz with Maurice and Carmella at ringside. And then, of course, the music finally hits. Daniel Bryan comes down with Brie, and you hear Brie, you know, that whole thing, and R-Truth wins the match. 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring.
And then Andreas Giannis and his girl try to come down and jump. It's just a mess, man. But I love it.
Well, I think that's obviously going to be this week's match is going to be Almas and Selena Vega versus Daniel Bryan and Brie to show that Brie's actually ready to wrestle when it comes to Hell in a Cell.
Well, they didn't get Maurice ready to wrestle for Hell in a Cell.
Man, Maurice is a 2-time women's champion. She doesn't need to get ready to wrestle.
Brie's a former champion too.
She just needs to get that hair ready, you know, like
whatever. Have you been watching Ms. and Mrs.?
No.
It's funny.
I watched the first episode and I was actually like, you know, if I liked reality TV, this wasn't half bad. But I find it funny that they say from Hollywood, California, and yet he moved to Texas.
Yeah.
And they literally tell you 8 minutes after he's not wrestling that he's moving to Texas. So why would they still say that he's from Hollywood, California at this point?
I don't know.
You know, why not just proclaim that he is the star of the highest rated reality show on USA, Ms. and Mrs. The Miz? Like, why not just introduce him like that?
Because they have to say he's from Hollywood. It's good because he's an A-lister. But yeah, now he's in Texas.
Exactly.
So Becky Lynch.
Okay, what about her?
I think we talked about it off the air. She has heelish tendencies, but the fans are still cheering her, a la a certain bald-headed Violet redneck that we know.
Well, okay, so let's look at it the way that it started, right? The whole thing was her turning on Charlotte in Brooklyn, which had everybody going, well, Brooklyn's a different crowd. You know, oh, this is the kind of crowd that's in Philadelphia after the Royal Rumble and Roman wins. You know, that's what they were kind of trying to say. So they went, okay, we're going to give her a very heel promo to cut on Tuesday night and see how she does. Well, she cuts that promo and I mean, she's bringing the crowd back to her, even though she's sitting there saying, you all turned your back on me and where were you when I was doing this? And yet the crowd's cheering her. They're like, Becky, we're right here. We're still here. We're still with you. We don't care what they're saying. You're Daniel Bryan, baby. You know, that's what's going on. Like, we could sit there and say that it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's not. This is Daniel Bryan becoming part of the Wyatt family. That's what this is.
Yeah.
This is, I'm forced to do something I don't want to do, and yet I know that you still want to say that I'm straight foyer, but for whatever reason, you're not allowed to put me in the foyer.
Straight foyer.
Exactly. So to your statement, Tino, the WWE does look like they've changed their stance on this, and I think it's because it's on SmackDown and not on Raw. I think they're more willing to take chances on SmackDown, and I think that what they're really trying to do is prep SmackDown for next year when it becomes part of Fox. But I think that the writers for SmackDown are sitting there going, we've got to change things based on what the fans want to see, whereas Raw is the flagship, and as long as it continues to get the ratings it's getting, they don't care what the fans think. And we've said that all along. We, you know, like Samoa Joe is putting on phenomenal moments. And I'm not just using that phrase phenomenal because it's AJ Styles' tagline. I'm saying it because like what Samoa Joe is doing is phenomenal right now. Like, I didn't think that character could become any more vicious than he was when he was facing Kurt Angle in TNA, or even when he was facing Shinsuke Nakamura in NXT. But yet somehow they have found a way to bring AJ Styles' family into it and make him even more vile than he was. and still doing it in a PG way.
Okay, I can see that. I can see it. And I was also, well, got to wait and see. But I was also, you going through that, and it reminded me that this Sunday is Hell in a Cell. So we probably want to run through and throw out some predictions as well.
Well, what's the card? Do you have it up?
Yep.
Okay.
We got Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton, and that is a Hell in a Cell match.
Well, first of all, I got to wonder whether or not Randy Orton cleaned his hands before putting his fingers in Jeff Hardy's ear holes.
Yeah, because he can get syphilis of the ear.
Yeah, I mean, he can get
Herpes.
syphilis, he can get herpes, he can get hepatitis, he can,
Pregnant.
Gonorrhea of the ear.
Clap.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways,
So stupid.
Randy Orton just turned heel. I don't see any way that he can actually lose. But the way that it's going to happen is because Jeff Hardy's going to make a stupid move, like trying to do a swanton off the top of the steel cage.
Agreed. Daniel Bryan and Brie versus The Miz and Maurice. I think Daniel and Brie win this. Because
yeah, I
50-50 booking, he lost at The Miz.
Well, this isn't something that needs to be 50-50 booked because it's not a one-on-one match. But I agree with you, but I agree in a way that Maurice is going to be the one that eats the pin.
Okay. You don't think Daniel's going to get The Miz to tap out or pin him?
No, I think Brie is going to put her in the LaBelle lock and actually get her to tap out.
All right. The match we were just talking about, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte just won it. I don't see Becky getting that belt.
I mean, if they really are going all in with this turn with Becky, I could see her actually, doing something dastardly to actually win the title, but I still don't think it's going to get her booed. But I got to tell you, the SmackDown Women's title doesn't mean nearly as much,
So I'm saying Charlotte. You saying Becky?
I'm saying where's a coin so I can hear. Hold on, ready? What are you saying? You saying heads is what?
Heads is Charlotte, tails is Beck.
All right, here we go. Heads, Charlotte. Okay, there you go.
Your girlfriend Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey.
Oh God! I mean,
you know your girl's going down. She's not getting that belt back.
How awesome is it to see Alexa Bliss actually with like a vile, evil side instead of just being a chicken shit heel?
Yes.
I mean, like her grabbing Natty by the arm and just twisting that mother lover off. I mean, come on, man. Like it makes me really want Natty to turn on Ronda.
Yes.
And what I kind of see happening is I kind of see that happening. I kind of see Alexa taking the title back because it's not a major pay-per-view, so they don't have to have Ronda on it. But I kind of see Alexa winning the title back with Natty turning on Ronda, and that setting up Natty versus Ronda for like the rest of the year.
Okay. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe.
I'm going to say where the F did Joe come from, but he's going to be lifting up that belt at the end of that match.
I agree with you there. And Hell in a Cell match for the Universal Championship. Braun versus Roman.
That can't possibly be the only other match. It might be the only one that's announced so far. And hopefully we will do another show on Thursday this week. But let's assume that the B team will get its tag team rematch this Monday night and lose. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Which will then set up Shield Brethren, Ambrose and Rollins versus Dolph and McIntyre. And I wouldn't even be surprised if they throw in, if Dolph beats Seth, it's not just for the tag titles, but they also win back the Intercontinental title.
Okay.
And then I think the match ends in a disqualification.
Shut up.
No, I'm serious. I think that like they will go, oh shit, how do we book this now? And they will end it in both teams being counted out or whatever, so that Dolph doesn't win back the Intercontinental title and they don't lose the tag titles.
Yeah.
Like I just don't see that happening. Like actually, you know what I see happening is I see the Revival coming down and messing that match up.
So you think Revival? Let's see. We see a face turn for the Revival.
No, I just see them coming down to get revenge.
Well, if they're going to go after the championships, you know, Vince doesn't like, he doesn't like faces and faces heels against heels. So if Dolph and McIntyre have the belt, and the Revival are coming at him.
It's a good question. Right now I don't think they're even going to think about it. I think that what'll probably happen is the Revival will then face the Shield for a couple weeks, and then after that the Revival will face the other two, and it'll end up being either a triple threat, or they'll finally throw Authors of Pain in there, and at Survivor Series you'll have a 4-on-4 match where it's Authors of Pain and the Shield, because they're obviously wearing the same kind of outfits now, versus McIntyre, Dolph, and the Revival. And the Revival won't get along with them, so it'll cause the bad guys to lose.
Okay. Braun or Roman?
Well, I think we know how I want this one to go. All the rumors out there are saying that Roman is poised for a long-term championship reign. And I got to tell you, Tino, I just don't see it. Like they, now that they've got Braun being the bad guy, I see them putting the belt on him.
They need to.
I mean, if they want Roman to actually try to gain face pop, they've got to actually have him go after the championship. They can't have him as the face champion trying to get more cheers. It's just not going to happen.
No.
So if I had to guess, I'm going to say it'll be dastardly and vile, but somehow Braun Strowman ends up pinning Roman Reigns in the Hell in a Cell. At least based on the week before booking. Now, that could change Monday night if all of a sudden they go, wow, people are still cheering Braun Strowman, so he's going to be the babyface in this feud, and the Shield's going to be the heels. Because let's be honest, the Shield was at their best when they were bad.
And they were heels.
Yeah, absolutely.
But nobody wants to boo Seth or returning Dean Ambrose.
We're getting to a time in our lives where people just don't boo or cheer based on what they're supposed to be. They boo or cheer based on whether or not they like or don't like.
And that's what I'm saying. Nobody wants to boo Seth or Dean. They like them.
Yeah, but who cares? Like Cody in Ring of Honor is a heel, and yet we cheer him because of the performances he's putting on, and we didn't even talk about All In.
Oh no, we didn't, and that might be. It's almost 10:30. That might be another podcast.
I mean, we're at 10 minutes over an hour at this point, and what I'll say about it is this: they did everything that they wanted to do with that pay-per-view, and
it was awesome from everything that I've seen or read.
The only thing that wasn't awesome was the pre-show because it was in low definition.
I did get a chance. The only match I really wanted to see was I did want to see that world title match with Cody and Nick, and they tore the house down.
And I mean, Cody played the heel,
but he got cheered when he won that belt.
Well, Cody was the guy that ran the show, so of course he's going to get cheered.
Yeah,
you know, he was the Triple H of NXT there.
Hey, whatever. He got the belt. First father and son NWA champions.
Well, and not only that, man, like you actually you know, I've got, and you know, New Japan World, it's on there now. it solidified Cody as a main eventer. He has the charisma, he has the drive, he has the look. He's got, and it's funny because when he bleached his hair, everybody was like, "Oh, really? We're doing that now?" And yet, I mean, he has it.
I still can't get used to him with the bleach hair.
It works for him.
Yeah.
It works for him as well as it worked for Dustin. And on the Facebook group, somebody posted the whole Dustin Rhodes as 7.
You saw that? Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Oh, I didn't forget about it, but that totally, like, I don't know if it was a work, I don't know if it was a shoot, I don't know if it was a Vince Russo moment, but it was something.
I think it was one of those in between. I think it was a work and shoot.
Yeah, I think Vince Russo said, "Go out there and do what you're gonna do. Like, this gimmick sucks, so just go ahead and do something about it." And he went out there and did it. And that was probably while Dustin Rhodes was high all the time. But
you think,
he cleaned himself up. He got himself on DDP Yoga. Had some good matches with R-Truth. And no offense, but he was never going to be main event material.
Yeah.
So Tino, I got nothing left, man.
I'm tapping out.
All right, well, you're in the coquina clutch, sir. Go ahead and take us out of here.
All right, folks. You can check him out on Twitter at PotCheck. I'm HoodieFan91 with Potsy and Tino. Check us out on Facebook, the Potsy and Tino Show. You can check him out on Instagram. He is I can't never remember, your Rob PotCheck on Instagram. I think I'm still SC Tino on Instagram, folks. We want to say thanks to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling song, the theme song of the show. Be sure to keep an eye out on Rob's Facebook page. Check out Junior High Horrors coming out. What do you say, September 19th?
Yep.
All right. You guys keep an eye out for that. I'm definitely going to see if I can sweet talk Robin and give me another signed autograph. Yeah, give me that one. Sign it and give that one to me. All right. Folks, until next time, probably next Thursday. You guys enjoy the pay-per-view this Sunday. Until next Thursday, I hear Ric Flair on that big hill, house on the hill. And he is saying, woo! Yeah. Good night.
We're still live. Woo!
Bye.